Hello there folks and welcome back to part 15 of season 2 of our Neil Robertson Pro career on Snooker 19, and today is time for the first round of the Champion of Champions, and today Robbo faces Mark Williams, the Welsh potting machine, a player who when we played him in the first season we didn't have a great record against, and of course because we have dropped outside the top 8 in the rankings we do have to go through this first preliminary round, if I can get my words out correctly, against another player. So basically we have to play another round. Of course Mark Williams would play this round. Usually what I'm saying is we have to play against a top 8 player because we are outside that top 8, if that makes sense. Basically a top 8 player plays against a non-top 8 player. So that's why we have a tougher draw in Mark Williams today. It's not been the best season for us so far. Of course dropping out of the English Open and Oppo International Championships with weak results certainly. But today in the Champion of Champions, much like in the Invitational event, which is Shanghai Master, we've got a chance to come back, prove our worth against the best, and hopefully do well in this match against Mark Williams. I hope you guys are all good. Again, apologies about a little delay between the last episode and this episode. I suppose I am committed to get one episode of Snooker out a week. I figured out a recording slot on the Sunday night for this episode. It's just a case of, I suppose, figuring out further recording slots for getting a few episodes a week out. But this is the start of the Champion of Champions. We went well here last year, got to the semi-final, unfortunately beaten by Judd Trump. We did beat Ryan Day and John Higgins in the last 16 and the quarter-finals to get to the semi-final, but unfortunately we didn't get past Judd Trump. It's going to be a tricky one to get past Mark Williams today. I don't think we'll have any shame to go out against Mark Williams, but it'd certainly be a massive boost if we can at least be competitive against Mark, and would be an even bigger boost if we can go and beat the Welsh potting machine. But it is the Welshman himself, pardon me, who's going to break off here. And if you have watched my other content, my football manager content, you all know I've got a little bit of a snivel. That's definitely improving now. So hopefully my commentary is a little bit better than perhaps it would have been. But a good break off from Mark Williams, exactly like you'd expect, I think. And we're going to be a fairly low risk shot here. We're just going to play off this red and hopefully stay down the bottom of the table. A little bit harder than I've wanted, 0.7%. It's all about fine margins here, really. But that doesn't look too bad. We wanted to just cordon off that obvious red that would come if we just played thin and tried to get it back up the table, really. So that's what we wanted to cordon off. And it's a decent safety shot once again from Mark. As you see, cordon off that red altogether, which we're pointing at lovely and straight now with the brown. Could take the risk of trying to pot the red, and I'm just a little bit worried if we... well, really if we do and we don't, because we don't open up that much. So what we are going to do, we're just going to play thin off this red, as thin as we can. We are compromised a little bit by the fact that the green is quite close to us. So we're going to play this nice and thin. Hopefully, if we can get this just as thin as possible. And hopefully cordon off that one red that's potentially open. But that doesn't look too bad to me. Should come off the cushion and fairly close to the bulk cushion, which I'm absolutely fine with, and if he's going to go for a pot there, he's going to be pretty ballsy about it, so I'm pretty happy with that shot, and he's going to have to go right into the pack now to do anything with it. But I haven't played any Snooker 19 in the last week, and sometimes that can really hinder you, sometimes that can actually help quite a bit. Well, I'm going to leave that little cough in, that's not too bad, but again, another good shot here from Mark Williams. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, he played quite a thick shot, surprisingly, but I just haven't got the confidence to play that. I haven't got the confidence really at the moment to do too much. He's got us in a bit of a predicament here. The only thing I can really do is try and potentially hit this one at a decent thickness and just hope that we can get back up the table with some decency. Let's have a look. We've gone for it anyway. Let's have a look how that one will finish. It doesn't look too bad, actually. Certainly if it hits the green, that isn't too bad at all. I'm just worried potentially about that, in potentially seeing the red that's closest to the pocket. But he's actually going to try and play a safety on that red there, unless he's going for a double or something like that. But certainly not a bad safety. Won't help him too much that he's hit that green on the way back up. I'm going to try and profit from that, from getting the first real attempt at a pot this episode and this match. Let's see if we can successfully. It looks like a fairly easy pot, but no pots are easy until you get them, and that's a good first pot in this frame. It's going to be a little bit tricky to go and win it from here in one visit, because the reds aren't developed whatsoever, but we'll play a nice easy straight shot on the on this blue to get us started. That won't hurt us at all, I don't think. And Mark Williams watching our game with interest and intent. He knows we're not in form, but I think we've shown definite hints that we can come back to form nice and quickly. To be honest, I was going for this red here. But because we have overscrewed a little bit, and it's coming to our favour quite a bit, actually, in my opinion, we are going to go for this red here. We're going to use some backspin, not hit this too hard, just make sure that we don't lose control of the cue ball. Gone a little bit too far than I'd have hoped, actually, but luckily we got the pink, and that should be nice and fine. I think what we are going to go for, we're going to go for the blue. Gives us a better chance of screwing back on the one by the pink. Yeah, a potential potting chance on that. We don't want to play our potting chance is harder, especially at this point with a bit of a lack of confidence. So we're going to stick to what we know, what we're confident in. To be fair, that red there doesn't look too bad as well, and we could have a chance to play into the reds. We've got a bit of a choice to make here, and I think I'm going to play the bold choice of whacking this red and trying to open up the reds. Let's see how that works. That's going to get eerily close to that pocket. Just hope we've not wiped out any chance of getting a pot anywhere, and luckily, as you can see, we are dead straight on that blue. We've got a little bit lucky there, actually. But it worked out to be a good decision in the short term, at least. And a good shot, and that's followed up by a good shot on the blue. And hopefully we can start to build a bit of a break. We've got 3 reds, 3 blues so far. Let's have a look what we can do in this break. Going to go for this red here. It's a little bit of a tighter angle, but I think in terms of position, it's going to be a little bit better for us. Hence why I've gone for it. I wasn't really going for the black, by the way, there. The black would have been a little bit tricky to get. And as you can see, I think the pink's a little bit too tricky as well. I just want to play safe shots at the moment. When you've not got much confidence, the best way to build your confidence is just going by getting them safe shots. Potting the balls you should pot. And at the moment, even though we're really short and not into this frame by a long stretch, we are not doing too badly here, which is something I'm very happy to see. Try and get fairly straight with this blue. And then maybe we can try and develop 1 or 2 reds. Main thing, of course, there, though, was that we did pot the red, which we have. We're fairly straight on with the blue, which I'm more than happy with at the moment, because there is a red that is available. We don't have to hit this too hard, actually, to get on the red, which is nice. But if you are enjoying Snooker 19 content being back on the channel, although albeit sporadically, make sure you leave a like. It always helps. There's not many of us making Snooker 19 content now, so hopefully my content should stand out in the search rankings anyway, but leaving a like, even though you might think it's not worth much, it really is, and really helps the videos get up the search rankings. We did try and open up the reds there, and we're going to have a little bit of a tricky shot on the blue now. You either play, of course, a pot or position, really, don't you? And we went for later position there and developing the reds. It doesn't really help with position, but it seems we've dispatched that that blue quite easily. We add to the succession of 6 reds and 6 blues, and we've got to be careful here we don't make any silly decision. We're just going to try and screw back into this corner. We're really looking to make it 7 reds and 7 blues. Nothing intentional going on there, just the fact that the blue's been the easiest ball to get to, and it's a ball that I call on quite a bit, actually. That pink looks pretty decent, though, but I am going to go for the blue. Again, just a better chance of controlling the cue ball, I always think, when you play the blue. Well, in this position anyway. Not always, but in this position it's always easy to control the cue ball. Play with a little aside there, try and get a little bit better on this red. It's pretty much a straight pot, and we're not looking too bad so far. It can only go wrong here, can't it? But a break of 42 so far. Not too shabby at all. We are going to struggle to develop these reds. That's why, really, I'm having to be quite... I mean, we are playing plenty of power, but what I mean is being quite delicate about my shots, just to get onto the blue or the pink, because we do need to develop these reds at some point, and I think the pink might come into play a little bit better now to try and get on a red. Let's see. We've broken the streak of blues and pinks. I don't think that blue's going to hurt us hitting that blue there, and it is going to be a bit of a trickier pot, a bit of a break ender, of course, if we miss it. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is true, I suppose, the statement. A little bit of a risk playing this, but we are bob on with our accuracy. Just develop 1 or 2 reds, which is exactly what we wanted, but we could have the problem that it does obscure this blue from going in. But we don't have that problem, which is good to see. And we're going to line ourselves up next up for a fairly short-range pot on that as well. So we'll see how we get on. But firstly, let's get this blue in, which we do. And we're not looking too bad at the moment, actually. I mean, the best thing for my confidence would be to clear the table altogether. But I'll have to see how we go. We're a way off that at the moment, I'd say, but it's not against the realm's possibility. Just got to keep playing consistently, open up the reds. I mean, the one big problem which I'm noticing is that red that's on the cushion. The ball we are effectively closest to, I would say. This ball here that's blocked by the blue. Now, I was hoping to get a little bit straighter on that red. It just seems silly with this red available to not go for it. Because if we miss it, well, we miss the other red that we'd go for. We do look a little bit silly then. If we go for a harder chance rather than the easier one.
And that shuts the door on his opponent in this frame.
And that has confirmed that we've won the frame. And we are going to stick with the blue here, although the black does look the easier option sometimes. We're going to stick with the blue and hopefully develop these reds. As I said, the best thing for us would be to try and clear the reds. This doesn't look too bad as long as the pink doesn't travel that much. But opens up the reds. And I think what the best thing for us to try and do now is try and clear the table. It gives a real confidence boost. No, we're not doing too badly at all. I'm happy with this, and long may it continue. Where's that cue ball? Where's that cue ball? I think we're alright. We were right in the path of that pocket, to be honest. But we've resisted it, which is good to see. You'll notice I'm playing with a bit of side, which I'm not going to do this time, because I just don't want to take the risk. I mean, we have won the frame, effectively, but that can all change. That can all change. I mean, snookers is something that you can get, so I don't want to take the risk. And I think that's fair enough, and I think we should be okay at this point. But as I've said, you just never know. It's a good blue. A little bit of an awkward angle on the red. Didn't want to play it at this awkward angle, but there was not really much we could do with the power we could use with the cue ball, etc. Try and tap this this red to slow it down a bit. I think that shouldn't be too bad as long as this red does go the distance. Oh, that's harsh. I'd be gutted if that was a big frame moment, but albeit it wasn't. So break of 73, a good positive break of 73 there, starting with that opportune potted red. But really, ultimately, the mistake that Mark Williams made has lost him the frame. But a good start for us here, I'm happy with that. Let's see how we get on in the second frame. And that is not the best start, unless we get incredibly lucky and it holds up behind the blue, which I think we have been incredibly lucky. Not the best break there. It's always horrible when you hit off that middle jaw. It's not pleasant at all. And he's got away with the fact that there's two reds there. I suppose something we could get away with if we look at it. Oh, hello. Reminder. Let's put my phone on silent. I wasn't expecting that to go off throughout here, but there we go. Bit of a behind the scenes moment, I suppose. That was awfully close, and I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I don't think that red that we've just moved goes past. I think it just is impeded by the one that's there, but if Mark Williams thinks he has a chance, then he will go for something here. But it was a good shot, to be fair, from Mark. Always is going to be. It's never going to be a rubbish shot by Mark. I think we were given quite a chance, to be honest, in that last one. But he has gone for that red, and it seemingly definitely didn't go, or he's just fluffed off his lines completely. But we do have a chance to pot that very red that he's just missed. Unbelievable. It's gone all the way up the table, by the way. We've got a chance to pot that here.
So, this pots into the right corner.
Two mistakes by Mark Williams so far. It's really let us in, and if we can continue the form that we did in the first frame, then we're on to a winner. But we shouldn't look back far ahead too quickly, because we've got a tricky shot whenever we decide to play here. And I think what we are going to do is just play this behind the brown. Got to be ever so delicate to make sure A, you hit the ball, and B, that it's effective and it's behind the ball. I mean, that wasn't the best example of how to do it. Really wasn't. But he is snookered, surprise, surprise. Is he going to get out of it? He is. Is he going to pot that? Well, I think, to be fair, he's incredibly unlucky there. Really do. Because I don't know if he went for the pot. Well, if he went for the pot, of course he's unlucky. But regardless of whether he went for it or not, that's harsh luck. We're going to profit from what he's done there. But that is harsh luck. It was very close to potting from that snooker. But ultimately, it doesn't seem to be going Mark Williams' way at the moment. Am I bothered about that? As a neutral I would be, but at the moment I couldn't care
I'm
less.
surprised he's taking on the long pot
Let's
here.
see if we can make it another blue potted. We do like the blue today. Seems even more than usual.
6.
And funnily enough, we are going to use it again here. Want to get bulk side of the blue, just to try and potentially develop these reds, or at least have the option to develop these reds, but that's gone a little bit too far. And it's going to have to be bottom pocket that we pot into, actually, with this red, I think, here. And that's not going to give us the greatest position in the world, I'll be honest. I think it might be a case of just swallow the yellow. As I always say in these videos, yellow is better than a smack in the backside. If you pot it, that is.
9.
Suppose it's not if you don't pot it. But, yeah, this isn't... We're not playing... We just haven't got the same crispness and ideas, I feel, that we had in the first frame. But nonetheless, we've got away with that.
Wonderful.
I do wonder how we're going to deal with this now. I mean, if I don't know if that... I don't think the pink goes. Would be, as I say, we've been incredibly unfortunate to get that from there. I feel what we'll do. We'll go with the green. If we can screw back. It's going to be a little bit awkward, isn't it? What we'll do then, we'll just go basically all or nothing really. I know we will pop this blue, but let's see with a bit of topspin what we can do. And that's going straight into the reds. Doesn't look too bad. What's the split going to be like? Really incredibly unlucky, and it only moves 2 reds. The one red we did move didn't really hit anything else, but it's not the worst shot in the world. We can definitely have a go at this. I'm quite happy to. And that is exactly what we'll do. We'll try and perfect that shot that we were trying to play a few shots ago and get the right side of the blue. That's what we wanted. That's the sort of shot we wanted first off, really. And we'll try and play this and get a little bit more luck again, hopefully, into the reds. These shots we've known can end disastrously. They can also end very well. But they can also end disastrously. And that was probably one of the better ones, definitely. But the frame's certainly not over yet. Oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Luckily get away with it, though, with a very straight cut on this red. So we've got away with that, I would say. But you've still got to pot this red, which we have. Wasn't the easiest pot in the world. No pot into the middle pocket's the easiest in the world.
22.
But I'll tell you something, after a really poor game against Sonny Akani, where we just never turned on the style at all, we're playing simple snooker, as I would like to call it. Nothing flashy, nothing experimental really, but it does seem that the balls are going for us. I mean, if only we could do this in ranking events this year, that'd be brilliant. We just can't do it in ranking events. We're fine in invitationals, as proven by the fact we got to the Shanghai... sorry, just the... What was it now? Was it the... What was it now? The... I've had a complete... What the hell did we get to the final of? Shanghai Masters, wasn't it? Yes, I knew we did get to the Shanghai Masters final. I knew it was that. I knew I wasn't wrong. But... now we can get to the final of that and then drop out. You know, we've no disrespect to either Alan McManus or Sonny Akani. You can get to the final of those events and then drop out of the first and second rounds of the Oppos and English Open to Alan McManus and Sonny Akani. Again, no disrespect to either of those players, but if you can beat the best, then why can't you beat the people that aren't the best, if that makes any sense. We've not played a very good shot here, I will confess. I think it might well be safety time. It has to be said that we are going to struggle to get a good safety here. We'll try this. We'll try that. Try and get it behind the yellow. It's got a chance of being decent. That doesn't look
Not what he intended at all.
too bad.
He'll be annoyed with that.
I mean, yeah, he'll have the chance on this, but there wasn't too much more we could do there. It was just a poor shot from ourselves, and Mark Williams gets off the mark. In terms of the match, actually. He hadn't got off the mark at all yet, but bit of a poor shot from us there, has to be said.
8.
I'll always admit my mistakes
9.
and my shortcomings, and it could be a mistake that potentially gives the frame away, because we did well to open up the reds, and I fear that's going to be something that Mark does benefit from, rather than us keeping our sort of safe snooker brand going and potentially winning the frame and going within one of getting to the next round. That would be brilliant, but
21.
oh well. I mean, it's not all over yet in this frame. I always say that. I'm always a little bit too early to start a farewell speech in frames and go, well, they've won the frame. I mean, granted, with the calibre of a player like Mark Williams, you'd expect him to go all the way in this frame, but you just simply never know. He made quite a howler in that first frame, in my opinion. That was a great highlight, wasn't it? Flash. Oh, the ball's gone in, has it? Nice. You might have a problem with these two reds, you know, on the cushion. Well, not on the cushion. Well, really, all of the balls on the cushion. I'm interested to see how he approaches this. And he has approached it very well. It's not going to be a tight pot. It looks like it's okay. And that is bloody perfect, to be honest. Anybody can do it? Mark can. A player who in the week, I read an article in the week that he doesn't really like snooker anymore. He prefers golf, apparently. And that's another tight shot. He's not giving himself the easiest one here, but that looks on target once again. As we said, didn't really even hit the cushion there. That was a beautiful, delicate shot. It looks like by lining up the yellow here, he's going for this red. And with some of the pots he's pulled off here, I think he really deserves this frame. Want to make sure he doesn't win many more. But definitely a good performance from Mark in this frame. But as I've said, it's not all over yet. 27 points left. And he's 13 ahead. Has he snookered himself? Well, that was close, mind you. I don't know what I'm on about. He was, of course, he was got to play the brown, hadn't he? He's on the yellow now. So there are 27 points remaining now. And he's 17 ahead. Now 19 ahead with 25 to play for. He needs the green and the brown. If he gets the green, we have to pot all the other balls to force a respot. The straightest brown you could hope for. And with a break of 58 from here, I'm guessing it's going to be a break of 76. But yeah, he's done well here. Like, we did a good, strong break. And unlike the last frame, I suppose, we were in the frame. But after a good start, Mark Williams levels things. Shows you that you can't really afford to make a mistake, or else Mark will come in and punish it. But two good breaks, and it's one each.
76. And the frame, Mark Williams.
Well played to take that frame.
Well, this is
and for those of you keeping tabs on the total episode mark, it is at episode 84 today. Imagine, if you're going at one episode a week and having an episode for 6-7 weeks, it's not really going to go up. And oh my goodness me, what was that break? I think by some just crazy luck, he's got away with it. But that was, I don't know, can I call it unorthodox? It's got to be a way through here on one of these reds. Has to be. Else he's either played a lot blinder or got very lucky. And I think that it's probably the second one. I don't think he's gone for this approach. But ultimately, if we don't pot anything here, then he's going to have a bloody good chance of doing it on his shot, because we're going to struggle to play a safety here that keeps this safe. This is a very tricky predicament here. I mean, this is the only real shot I can think of, to be honest. Although, with hindsight, look at that red there, you idiot. You tool. Why did I play that? I saw it as soon as I was coming down the table. What have I done there?
Tough shot, but he could have played it better.
He's aiming to sink this into the right
And
corner.
we ain't going to get away with that. Not the easiest, to be fair, from there for Mark. It was a bit of a tight pot, but he's off the mark, pardon the pun. Not going to be the pink or the brown, sorry, or the blue here. It's actually going to be the yellow he goes for.
That's an excellent pot.
Better than a kick on, or whatever. Whatever word you want to insert there. On the back side. But ultimately, through his own poor play, I would argue, I don't think it was intended to open up the red so much. Through his own poor play, he's actually created a brilliant opportunity for himself. Funny how that works sometimes. That you rue from your own misfortune. But it happens. The luck can go either way. We've only had that one shot since we fluffed our lines in the safety. And that was another safety, and it wasn't that safe. Safety, a part of my game, I'll readily admit, isn't great. But I think that my get-out clause, particularly in that situation, was that, let's be honest, it was a pretty tough one. But, ooh, he's missed. Wow. Not a mere formality he was going to pot that, I accept that, but he's missed it in what has to be said, so far been pretty much a perfect break. He looked really good. I know it was only a small break, granted, but a mini break. We got on a mini break from the table. But only a mini break of 9. I am absolutely not fussed about that. Quite happy he only got 9, actually. But we've got to be careful here because there's a very good chance that we can muck this up. And I'm just looking here. Got to be a very certain angle that we play this at, or else we are going to not have a chance to pot anything. So we'll just keep it safe, as I said before. We didn't really want to be behind that pink as close as we are, but we have got away with it absolutely fine. We're going to knock this red in because it's just going to not help anything in the future, and that was not the best shot, but I think again we are going to get away with it. It seems. Straight blue, come back. This is the worst part. I'm not very good when it's all tight, when the parameters are tight, because my control of the cue ball has never been that great. So obviously in tight parameters like these, when the balls are really close to each other, you've got to get on the right side of them, and you've got to be fairly accurate. That's what I'm saying. You haven't really got much of a margin for error. That's when I always seem to struggle. Not looking too bad at the moment, though.
Played it well.
18.
Oh, it's a dog barking downstairs. The dog hasn't gone. The dog is always going to be there in snooker videos. It's when I start talking like this, though, that I do make a silly mistake. So I shouldn't start waffling on, because as I've just said, I'll make a really silly mistake and then go, oh, you idiot, why have you said something like that for? I'm going to try and hit these 3 reds, but actually we hit the pink, and that's all we hit. That pink is going to hit a few balls, but we've mucked it up. 24. We have mucked it up there. Or have we? That is a bit of a golden opportunity, a bit of luck there. Still got to pot it, I suppose, but I wasn't expecting to have a shot that easy after the poor shot we played there. But again, really, not the best shot.
25.
But I think we are going to go for pot rather than... or do we? I think we do. Need to get this right behind the brown this time, because let's be honest, last time it wasn't all that great. Hit the brown, that's the most important bit. And that is pretty much perfectly done.
25.
It's not too shabby at all, is it really? Way to get out of that, goodness me.
That's beautifully judged.
It is, I agree. I suppose all we can do is really just try and tap this on. And we're just going to try and get out of that now. Let's hope it's a bad safety. It's not the best in the world, but equally it's a fairly good one, it has to be said. I'm going to try and get this to the bottom of the table, because I have an opinion that it's going to be tricky to get anything from down there. Come off the cushion. Come down. That's not going to be the worst shot in the world.
That's not ended well. Tough shot.
That's not ended well. What can he get to? Oh, that's silly. Should have seen that opportunity. Sometimes you just don't. I suppose if you don't play in real life as well, you just don't see that opportunity. You should really get down and look at the table there. I just feel that that again is another silly shot that,
7.
much like in the last frame, Mark Williams won't need another invitation. It's frustrating.
12.
Again, it is my safety game. We've seen that my potting game is pretty solid. In my opinion, anyway. We don't miss many pots. We get in good positions, but when we don't, when we make a little mistake, it's recovery that's a problem. Let's look at improving that in our game, particularly in longer matches. It actually makes more of a difference in these shorter matches if you're making mistakes, because you can't afford to give away frames. In longer matches, you can kind of recover and go on runs of form, but in these sort of matches, it's crucial you have a good start, which we did, to be fair, but we seem to have given all that away now to Mark. And I'm going to be a little bit more dim and grumpy in this frame rather than the last one. I think he will go and win this. I don't see too much of a problem with him going to win this now.
Lost position here.
Apart from that,
25.
that's not the best shot in the world. Goodness me. I'm really shocked by that.
Mark
Not
Williams, 25.
what you'd expect from Marco. This could either go really well or disastrously wrong. I just fancy it. And we have got away with it, I would say, because of the two reds effectively blocking each other. I could be wrong, but no, he is forced to play a safety. So probably our first decent safety of the day, and actually Marco makes the mistake there by hitting the yellow. That wouldn't help him at all. We're just trying to be careful here.
He's playing for the right corner here.
This pot is the most important. I know that position on the other two reds isn't going to be too grand, but this pot is the most important thing at the moment. And that is what we've got. Let's have a look how... I mean, this is tight. That's the problem, isn't it? It is really tight. Going to go for the blue. Because then we can try and tap this red pretty much perfectly there. We've got to get the blue, though, because, well, what's the point? If we can't hit if we can't get the blue, there's no point trying to position ourselves to the red. We might as well just play a safety. Got the blue. Red's come off the cushion, and that is a good shot. I'm happy with that. Have we wriggled our way back into the frame? See, I make these speeches all too early, don't I? Really do. Got to get this right, though. I've got a bit of a tendency with side to muck things up. I want to get this to the black. I think you guys know what I'm trying to do. It can be a bit fiddly sometimes. That will do it, I think. Trying to get this more central in the pocket. This is ridiculous. Come on. Should we just play backspin and go for the blue? I think that might be the best thing to do here, you know. Nothing too showboaty, because that sometimes is what we have a problem with. We played safe snooker all day. We've done well with it, so I don't think there's any point of playing anything that's too fancy. And then we'll try and get this blue and then hopefully screw back onto this blue and pink. But it's going to be a little bit of a tight one. Hasn't come off the cushion, can't we? Yeah, I think from there it might come off the cushion to hit the blue and the pink without having any side. Let's just experiment. At least we get the 5 points from the blue, if nothing else, and that's what we have got. And there we go. It does hit the red, but that is the... It's not quite where I wanted it, really.
12.
It certainly moved it, but it's not really made too much difference. Let's just play up to it. Hopefully we don't make a silly mistake, like potentially that could be. We have just tapped the red, and that's exactly fine. Going to be a close frame, this. It's only 3 points between us and 35 remaining, but that looks to be a good snooker from Marco. Let's see if we can get out of it. Going to need a good shot here.
Pace is very important.
Let's just be careful. Let's be composed. A little bit hard, and we don't get away with it. We've hit the pink. That is what I would call a disaster. But
that's not a good result.
He might force us to continue here, because I don't think he can't get to the middle pocket. He can. Oh, I didn't think he could. He can get to the middle pocket. Well, yeah. Just a little bit too hard, and that's what finishes you off sometimes. Okay. Okay. Not getting the rub of the green in this frame. Just got to let it get past you sometimes. You just got to breathe. Move on to the next frame. And we should be okay. He's 13 ahead. The blue will be enough to lead for the first time here. Which he does. We're not going to come back from here. 13 remaining. Pot's the pink. We'll probably pot the black to make it a clearance of all the colours. And now we will move on to the fourth frame.
32. And the frame, Mark Williams.
That is the frame.
Let's try and make this one a little bit better than our first break then. Hopefully we do. A little bit soft, as you'll notice, but doesn't make any difference. We hit it exactly the same. Oh my god. Hang on though. We could get very lucky with this. No, we don't.
That's a loose shot.
Goodness sake.
Well, he's looking at potting this into the...
I think that's the first time in both of our breaks in the game. That's all we are going to get in terms of a break. That is a peculiar shot from Mark Williams.
He'll want to try and tighten up his game a little.
It's definitely an intended one. Definitely is. But it does beg the question, what on earth are you doing? I mean, the pot's going to be fine for us here. It's just trying to get position. To try and get a frame-winning break first off. And come back into this match. And force a decider against Mark Williams.
1.
Again, pot's fine. Get the pot sorted first. And hopefully just try and split some of these reds and see how we get on.
This with a lot of power. That's a really good split, and this is a
Seems to be happy with the split. We won't know really how good it is until the ball stops, but that looks fine. We've got a strike red on.
6.
That's not too bad at all, actually. Play with some top. Just going to play with a lot of power.
Corner here. Well, an excellent pot.
They didn't actually hit any of the reds. That's a bit of a surprise. But that's still okay. I'll take that.
7.
Try and pop this blue.
Long pot, right up his street.
We're liking the blue today, aren't we? We really are.
He'll be disappointed with that shot.
Oh, can we not get through? Oh, well. That's a shame. It was a risky one from there, definitely. Should have to play into the reds.
Neil Robertson.
That's not too shabby at all. It's not going to be a frame-winning break. But let's see what we can do to try and win this frame. Now, this is going to be very tricky. Because, again, he's played an exemplary safety shot. So we're going to have to just try and get into the reds. And not have anything move about, basically. This is so delicate. And this is a shot that can go disastrously. It doesn't look too bad at the moment. Although, look at that red. If he can get to it, he can't, fortunately, to pot it. But that could have been a real mistake. So look at our chances here. I think he's covered things nicely. Not too much of a surprise. Just safety up the table here, I think, would be suitable. Although my safety game hasn't been brilliant today, and we've hit the brown. That just sums up my safety game today, really has. Just wants to thin touch on the red. We hit it a little bit too hard to get it behind the brown. And that does sum up my safety game today. That could be our last shot. Could be.
1.
We've still got a long way to come. I think we played well in the first frame and have showed good elements in our game. But I think until we start playing consistently, and I think most of all getting some confidence with winning frames, I think that we are going to be like this. A little bit inconsistent, which isn't much of a surprise. But we need to be careful because we've already dropped out of the top 8. This tournament won't have too much of a bearing on it. I know I'm doing my farewell speech again. Arguably too early. We'll have to see how we go, won't we? We'll have to see how we go here.
13.
Reds aren't developed yet.
That's a great
They are now. Good split.
20. 20.
Not optimum on the black, but he's got choice of black or pink.
28.
I mean, he made a mistake last frame, didn't he, which tempted us back in. Could have a chance here, you never know. Given our recent form, I don't think we were expected to beat Mark Williams, but regardless of that,
29.
we could have beat him here. And we could still beat him. It's not all over until he wins.
30.
That, again, is a ridiculous statement, but it's true. It's not all over till he gets the balls in. He's still got to pot the balls. We've made the mistakes. We've given him the one hand, effectively, on the the trophy of this exhibition match, which isn't an exhibition match, of course. It's a champion of champions match. But we've given him one hand on the virtual trophy, which is the the keys to the next round. But we'll just have to see how we go here. He looks good. But there are still how many reds? He's going to pop one hit. Oh, see. Well, I fast forward that because I didn't expect anything. Well. Well, 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 Marco. That is a turn up for the book. But we've not really got the best opportunity here, I wouldn't say. We can move the ball, luckily, as we... So we'll put it down here for the time being. Ah, we've got a good opportunity there. Got a good opportunity. Right, let's pot this and let's get ourselves back in the game. Come on.
Just wants to sink this into the left corner pocket.
That's quite astounding that he effectively straight hitted that. Straight hitted? He basically had a straight hit on it, didn't he? He just didn't budge, which seems a very odd shot there. We've got this pink that's on. It seems silly not to take the pink on.
Now, can he drop this into the right corner? That's a great pot.
7.
A little bit of a tight one here, but
Needs to take this chance.
I think the predicament we're in, we're going to have to play those tricky shots. We're lucky to be in this situation, by the way. I think, personally. You might think different. You might think that I've played a lot better than I protest and say I have. So, I might have played better. That was always going to be marginal to hit that red.
Positioned for the red.
I mean, I don't know which red we're nicely positioned for, to be honest. I don't. Really don't. Where's the red we're nicely positioned for? I think this one down the cushion is going to be the easiest shot, but in my opinion, it's by no means easy. We certainly got a chance, certainly got a sniff at that, but this could be our last shot. Looks they're all thereabouts, and we get the look. That's good to see. I'm going to play the yellow here. I just don't have the confidence at the moment to do anything too extravagant, and ultimately we're playing to get back into the game, so again I don't want to take too many chances that we're going to curse. Just taking that a little bit more time over shots that sometimes I'd go, yeah, okay, fine.
He's attempting to sink this into the left corner pocket.
It's there.
Great shot.
It's a good shot, that is.
18.
Very solid. Black's not going to be any good for us here.
Very tricky shot coming up.
And that's not the best, is it? Let's have a look. Can we actually get to the blue, the red? We can, and it's not an easy one, but it's not too difficult. It's the sort of shot we could be playing. It's not been the best so far. We still need to find our feet. I'd still argue in this frame, but we're potting the shots. They are the tricky pots, in my opinion.
21.
And we need to probably get this pink now to have any chance of getting to this red. A little bit harder than that. I don't mind sacrificing position as long as we get the pot. That might be off. It is.
Bad miss.
Neil Robertson.
That could be our last one of the game, folks. Because he's just potted the red.
1.
Well. Didn't take enough time over that. Really didn't. And that, unfortunately, I think is what's going to lose us the game here. He's 9 ahead with 27 remaining. Nothing looks too complicated about this. That brown on the cushion might prove to be a little bit of a problem. But he's readily dealt with it, I would say. 14 ahead. Needs the brown.
16.
I mean, this blue could be tricky. We could bring it back to a respot. But if you get to the blue, it's pretty much all over. That looks good to me. And it's there.
That's a wonderful, wonderful pot.
And I think we're out the champion of champions. The pink and the black will confirm it. And they do.
21.
Gets the black. He'll finish off for breaker 34. Yeah, that's our last chat. That's our last chat to the champion of champions. And again, in the Oppos, we got to the final last year. We didn't get past the second round this year. Got to the semi-final of this tournament last year, and this year we just haven't cut the mustard at all. I mean, it's 179 points compared to Mark's 221. We were certainly in the game. We weren't mugged. But there are definitely inconsistencies within our game that have clearly been shown today, and we drop out of the champion of champions way too early on. I think it was our break actually that was the 76. Kyron Wilson's the 2020 champion. That's a bit of a surprise, but very nice to see somebody winning as well. 73 was our biggest break, so it must have been Mark who got the 76. But another day, another tournament really. It's certainly not been that great. 3 losses in a row now. A little bit of a concern. Our form certainly isn't the best. I mean, we did well in the Shanghai Masters, but it has to be said in all the other tournaments this year we haven't been great at all. Who we face in the first round of the Northern Ireland Open? We're going to face Sean O'Sullivan, so I'm going to play the first 2 matches of that off camera, get a bit of experience, and I'll fingers crossed be back on Wednesday, or close to the weekend. Fingers crossed Wednesday, but if not, close to the weekend with the start of the Northern Ireland Open. And feel free, if I haven't got a video out by Saturday, to start nagging me. Where's Snooker 19? Because I need to make sure I get the videos out for you guys, but because I know you guys really enjoy this series, and I do too, especially when we're winning. But an early exit from the champion of champions there, not too chuffed about that. But this tournament, the Northern Ireland Open, it definitely gives us a good chance to get back into the swing of things and get back into the running again and get a good prize money check. But thank you very much for watching. I always appreciate you guys tuning to Snooker 19. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment your thoughts as well, and subscribe for regular Snooker 19 content alongside the FM20 content, which is on the channel at the moment. Thank you very much for watching, but until the next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye for now.